Oh, you know what this reminds me of? I had a horrible dream the other night. I told Tomar about it. Oh, you want to hear my horrible dream?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, I had a dream where, in the dream, I knew I was in a video game. I just knew for some reason. I was like, I'm in a video game, right? And then this guy just appears. He's like 15 feet tall, right? And he just goes like, he just like stands up like, like that, right? He screams. And then he starts stomping around. So I'm like, oh, this guy must be the boss. And he's just like this big, big stupid dunderhead, and he's wearing a loincloth, and he's just this big bald dude, right? And I'm like, oh, I gotta kill this guy. So I run over to him, and I have a knife, and I cut the back of his leg, and he falls down, and he just lies on the ground, and he starts going, oh, right? I'm like, oh. And then I just start cutting open his legs and his skin, like, really slowly, and I'm just like, this seems too real, and I'm just, like, cutting into him over and over, and he's going, oh, right? And I was like, what the fuck? And I cut into his leg, like, 50 or, like so many times, to the point where he's just lying there screaming, and I was like, this doesn't feel right. So then I go find like an NPC, and I'm like, yeah, can I get a gun? I need to put something out of its misery. And the guy's like, no, you can't do that. I'm like, oh, okay. So then this guy's just screaming, and he's
I thought you said they just don't have guns in that world.
Yeah, that was it. They just don't have guns.
They don't have guns?
Yeah, and also this guy who appeared, he didn't do anything. He just appeared and went, ah! Started stomping around, and he died horribly for it.
We were watching Chucky not long ago. That's another movie I haven't seen in 100 years.
Dude, I had never seen those ever. I always thought it would be kind of gay, but it was actually pretty cool watching it with you.
As a kid, Chucky scared the fuck out of me, because if nobody knows, I was terrified of blinking dolls as a child. So
blinking? What do you mean blinking?
Like dolls that blink.
You know, why blinking? Why? What?
I don't know. It's one of those phobias that people have that they can't really explain.
Okay, that's fair.
It's just uncanny when a doll blinks and you don't do anything.
Yeah.
The idea of that is scary. Like, I remember one time I was grounded and I was in my room and there was my sister's doll was on a chair and I was looking at it, and the whole time I was like, don't blink, don't blink, don't blink, in my mind. And then it fucking blinked 30 minutes later. And it blinked. It like blinked. And I remember that, and I couldn't say anything. I couldn't scream. I was so scared. But I know that was just my brain playing tricks on me because I was thinking that it would blink.
Were you in the dark, like the dead at the dark?
Yeah, it was dark.
No, my eyes play tricks on me in the dark too.
Yeah, it was dark, and the light was shining on its fucking stupid face.
Yeah.
And I could see it. It was like something out of a horror movie where the light only shined on a dumbass weird face.
Is this like sleep paralysis or something?
No, I was awake. I was leaning on my bed looking at it, hoping it didn't blink, and then it just blinked.
Just sitting there.
It blinked? What? The doll blinked in your room?
No, he's saying he thinks it was like an illusion, or that he imagined it.
I'm pretty sure my brain, like, because it's one of those things where it's like, it's happened before where I was laying in bed, like recently a neighbor died at my mom's house.
Yeah.
And I was thinking,
soul went into the doll?
No. He used to walk by our house all the time, so I would be used to seeing a shadow when he'd come by to like get the lawnmower. And he did that like constantly. So he died a day before he usually got the lawnmower.
Oh.
So the next day when I was asleep at night, I remember what a shadow looked like. I was like, man, I'd be so terrified if a shadow walked by my fucking my like vividly lit up room, and a shadow walked by my fucking room
scary.
Right when I thought that.
Scary.
I ran outside because I was like, I was almost in like panic. I couldn't believe what I saw. No, this was like 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And
this is your brain going insane.
Yeah, it was, dude, your brain can do a lot of scary shit. If you're constantly like, I don't want to see anything, you're gonna fucking see something.
Yeah.
Because you put your brain on edge.
Do you ever have something like where you, like I have a chair in my bedroom, and there's a shirt hanging over the side of it. And I always wake up and in the corner of my eye, it always looks like a person, and it freaks me the fuck out.
That fucking sucks so bad.
I don't move this shirt, and it happens every morning. I think there's someone standing over me.
That's happened with like a coat rack, definitely, with like weird like raincoats and shit. Really give off weird illusion. Because when I used to have my room in the main like foyer entrance when you come into like my mom's house, my room used to be right there, and there was a coat rack.
What did you just do?
He put a wallet in his pocket.
Wow.
A wall locket.
No, but when Corey, when I was younger, that shit used to happen to me too. Where my grandma had this weird blue painting of like an old Irish lane with a mansion at the end and like little people on horses at the bottom. And I used to just look at it, and they'd be like walking around and like moving, and the trees would be swaying, and it would just be like scary.
Yeah, but at night, like it's because shadows, any kind of shadow that's like moving creates like the illusion that it's like your brain That's why when people say like I saw shadows at night when I was in a place alone with no one else there and only me and my fucking self. It's like, yeah, of course you saw a fucking shadow walking by you unconspicuously.
You want to hear something else that's kind of funny?
Yeah.
One night when I was really young, I had to sleep in my mom and dad's bedroom, and they had a no, they didn't fuck or nothing, but they had a similar.
They fucked next to you.
You went, oh no, here we go.
And they were like, Chris, stop making so much noise.
Shut up! They blinked at you. They had a similar painting on their wall that was like a weird, like old-timey painting, and I would look at it and I would see little things move, right? And then I'd look over at my dad, who was also like just awake in bed, and he'd look over at me. And then look back at the painting, and there'd be little moving guys look back at him, and he'd look back at me. And I was just like, wow, he knows what he sees it too. He knows what's going on. And then in the morning, I'd be like, Dad, remember those little moving things? He was like, no, you were just freaking me out. And I was like, it's like, oh, sorry.
And the little moving guys, they say, shut up.
No, those little moving guys are fucking assholes.
I mean, we talked about this before. We talked about like sleep paralysis. Like I haven't had sleep paralysis in quite a long time.
Yeah.
But I have seen, like, at my old dad's house when we used to live somewhere. I don't know where the fuck. It wasn't Vermont, but it was maybe somewhere in Iowa.
Ooh,
I used to live next to a playground.
Yeah.
So we saw shadows a lot. Because we didn't live next to a playground. Like, right across the street was a playground.
Right.
And I remember I used to see, like, people on the ceiling just dancing, just spinning around, just shadows just dancing.
That's scary. I recently just made my sleep paralysis demon in Blender.
Really?
Yeah. So I didn't forget it.
Oh shit, that's
Here,
awesome.
it's on screen right now. Wow.
Why do you put that on? We're playing game, Chris!
I'm sorry.
Jeff smiled when he saw it.
A little bit.
His little boner trickled around.
Chris,
Yeah.
Get out of here.
tell me the last thing you dreamt about.
Okay, there we go.
I dreamt I was in a store. There was a big...
Dinosaur.
No, it was a big Asian guy. Like, and he wasn't because
big guy, huh?
It wasn't because of Big Chang. It was before that.
A big guy like he was giant or like
No,
he
he's fat.
was fat. Okay.
No one knows who Big Chang is yet.
He was a big, fat Asian man or Asian kid, and he was like, he was working at the cashier, and everyone was making fun of him. That's all I remember.
I dreamt last night that.
There we go. That's what it is.
I dreamt last night that Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane wanted the show to just end already.
Yeah.
And the second to last episode of the season, it was just Peter Griffin. He doesn't look like Peter Griffin anymore. He spiked his hair up and he was wearing a trench coat. And he just went into a mall and he started shooting everybody for 20 minutes. That was the whole episode. And then the episode after that, it was like a creepypasta, and it was just a close-up of his face with his eyes bleeding, and he was screaming. And it was just that for 20 straight minutes. And I remember I was having a conversation with somebody, and they said, like, Family Guy could be funny sometimes. I said, did you see the last episode of it? And we watched it together, and they're just like, is this it? No one was scared by it. Everyone was just really bored with it.
Well, yeah. Why would you be scared by it?
Because he was screaming.
Yeah.
So
It's very spooky.
Because it's very abrupt when it first starts, and then it goes for 20 minutes.
Did I tell you about the dream I fucking had last night?
Where the monkey bit you?
Yeah, I dreamt that fucking Johnny Utah, bought a monkey and he had it in the car. Oh, I already told you about
Yeah,
that.
well, keep saying because you're telling the audience now.
Okay, so Jeff has a pet monkey.
Dream Jeff.
He has a pet monkey in a car, and I start slapping on the window to annoy the monkey. The monkey gets out instantly, he starts biting me on my hand, and I start running through a suburb, and he keeps biting it. And then I woke up, and I came over here.
Wow.
It was a great day.